Chapter 11 Go. You are listening at MTnovel.audio. In the early morning of August 1st, before dawn, Yang Wu couldn't wait to rush to the extreme martial arts gym. At this time, there were only a few scattered students training in the martial arts hall. Yang Wu walked to the fourth floor, but there was no one there. Walking to the weapons room, there are a large number of weapons placed on the weapons cabinet: knives, spears, sticks, axes, hooks, forks, all kinds of weapons are available. Broken army gun. Yang Wu has always used long guns from the Pajuan series, so now Yang Wu still chooses this long gun. Opening one of the cabinets, there were many long guns of the same style inside. Call out. Yang Wu took out the spear he had chosen after his last breakthrough and weighed it in his hand, only to find that it was a little too light. Choose another one. After several attempts, Yang Wu still couldn't find a spear that suited him. Yang Wu's physical fitness has reached the level of a junior warrior, and in the entire Yangzhou city, there are only 3 warriors at the Extreme Martial Arts Hall who are at the warrior level, and they are all in the Extreme Martial Arts Hall in Mingyue community. This is just a branch in Ian district. The most powerful one, the senior warrior level instructor Jiang Mian, will certainly not be equipped with warrior-level training weapons. In desperation, Yang Wu could only choose the heaviest long gun in the Pajuan series. The weight of the gun was 159 kilograms on the barrel. After choosing his weapon, Yang Wu began to display his marksmanship in the martial arts training hall. Prick. Yang Wu held the spear in his left hand, and grabbed the tail of the spear in his right hand, suddenly exerting force, a twist of the right wrist. The spear seemed to come alive, spinning and suddenly thrust out. This spin is an extremely subtle technique that can both confuse the enemy and increase the penetrating power of the spear itself. In the past, Yang Wu would never have been able to use this technique. If he used it reluctantly, he might even hurt himself. But now, Yang Wu can perform this move with ease. Stab, sting, sting. Sweep, sweep, sweep. Yang Wu exerted his strength again and again, constantly using the marksmanship and body skills he had learned in the simulation. Drop. 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 Yang Wu's communication watch suddenly rang. A phone. Yang Wu stopped his movements and answered the phone. Brother Yang. Luo Feng's voice came from the communication watch. When will you come over? I'll wait for you in the lobby. I'll be there right away. Yang Wu returned the broken army gun in his hand to its original position and replied, the actual combat assessment for warriors takes place outside the base city, so prospective warriors in Yangzhou City who are preparing to take part in the assessment must gather at the Extreme Guild Hall in advance. After hanging up the phone, Yang Wu immediately rushed to Mingyue community. After a while, Yang Wu arrived outside the hall on the first floor of the Extreme Guild Hall. At this time, more than 20 would-be warriors had gathered in the hall. Brother Yang, here. Luo Feng shouted loudly. The fact that Luo Feng was recruited into the martial arts gym in advance has already spread among the circles of would-be martial artists. So when he shouted, everyone's eyes in the hall focused on Yang Wu. Yang Wu quickly walked to Luo Feng and said with a smile, Feng, you are quite popular. Luo Feng smiled and said jokingly, why, Brother Yang, are you jealous? Jealous of you? Yang Wu shook his head slightly and said with a smile, in the actual combat assessment later, you will see how I kill everyone. Yang Wu, who has mastered the professional level marksmanship, has decided to make a splash in the actual combat assessment. Luo Feng smiled and didn't care about Yang Wu's words. Although he is now much stronger than Yang Wu and has even awakened his spiritual power, he will never forget Yang Wu's help to him. Not long after, more than 30 would-be warriors who participated in the actual combat assessment in Yangzhou City gathered together, and then rushed to the train station under the leadership of a warrior from the Extreme Guild Hall. Kuchi, kuchi. The sound of wheels rubbing against the rails got closer and closer, and an extremely long iron train slowly stopped. Yang Wu and others, who had been waiting at the train station for a long time, boarded the train one after another under the leadership of the official warrior. At this time, there were already many would-be warriors on the train. They gathered together in 2s and 3s and chatted with each other. The scene was very lively. Yang Wu and Luo Feng randomly found a quiet place to sit down, but people kept coming over to chat with Luo Feng. Yang Wu and Wu were extremely annoyed. Fortunately, after the final approval of the warriors to board the car, the big screen in the middle of the car suddenly lit up. Spokespersons from various major forces gave speeches to win over these would-be warriors who were about to become official warriors: the regional director of the HR Alliance, the director of the Jiangnan Bay City Security Bureau, the two directors of the Thunder Martial Arts School and the Extreme Martial Arts School. These powerful giants all appeared one after another. The propaganda of a total of 4 people caused a lot of discussion among the would-be warriors in the carriage. "Brother, after you become a warrior, which force do you plan to join?" "I think the military is good. In China, the military is the most powerful. Of course I join the HR Alliance. Not only will I make more money, I will also be able to do well all over the world." The would-be warriors were talking among themselves, all very excited. "Brother Yang." Luo Feng was also discussing with Yang Wu, "Which side are you going to join? Why not join the Extreme Martial Arts Gym with me?" Luo Feng has already signed a contract with the Extreme Martial Arts Gym, so he naturally hopes that Yang Wu will also join the Extreme Martial Arts Gym. "Me?" Yang Wu said with a smile, "We still have to see which side gives us better treatment, and we will join that side." After a while. "Fellow would-be warriors, the train is about to enter the station. All would-be warriors, please bring your belongings and be ready to get off." The conductor's voice came from the loudspeaker in the carriage, and then the train began to gradually slow down until it stopped. Wow! All the compartment doors were opened, and a vast crowd of would-be warriors filed out of the train and walked into a large military camp. "Look outside the military camp!" A warrior shouted excitedly. Everyone turned around and saw some monsters wandering outside the cordon of the military camp, but they did not dare to step even half a step into the cordon, because, within the cordon, there were many corpses of dead monsters. "Everyone!" At this time, a loud voice reached the ears of every prospective warrior through the loudspeaker: "Welcome everyone to the Jiangnan Bay City North Military Region. This time, the actual combat assessment of 1,680 of you will be held in our North Military Region. I hope most of you can pass the test, and I hope all of you can pass this test alive." As soon as he finished speaking, the originally lively atmosphere among the large number of would-be warriors instantly became a little solemn. The actual combat assessment, as the name suggests, completely simulates the scene of warriors fighting monsters in the wilderness area. In previous assessments, a large number of would-be warriors were injured each time. After working hard for so many years, I am only one step away from becoming a warrior. How can I give up so easily? Brother Lu, this test is more dangerous. How about you and I form a team? More than 1,000 would-be warriors, those who felt that their strength was insufficient, began to look for partners. Chapter 12 Monster Town. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. It was already approaching noon, and a sumptuous lunch had been prepared for the would-be warriors in the military area. In order not to attract attention, Luo Feng and Yang Wu sat in a corner of the restaurant. There are so many people taking the assessment. Luo Feng sighed as he looked at the crowd of people around him. This practical combat assessment for prospective warriors is only done twice a year in each base city. After half a year of accumulation, there are also people who were injured before and failed to pass, or missed the assessment. It is not surprising that there are so many people. Yang Wu said slowly. "Hey, it turns out to be food from a monster." Luo Feng took a bite of the food and said with some surprise, "The selling price of these monster meats in the base city is extremely astonishing. Even the lowest grade monster meat costs over 100 yuan per pound, which is rarely available to ordinary people." Before Yang Wu became a warrior, he could only eat once every half a month, and Luo Feng could eat even less frequently. This is not surprising. Yang Wu explained, the reason why these monster meats are sold at a high price in the base city is often due to the high transportation costs. In this military camp, these low-grade monster meats cost. There are plenty of them, and they are probably easier to get than vegetables. Brother Yang, you know so much. Luo Feng sighed. Yang Wu smiled. Having lived in 2 lifetimes, he did no more common sense than Luo Feng, who had just graduated from high school. However, in this world, the most important thing is one's own strength. Yang Wu and Yang Wu chatted while eating, and soon they finished their lunch. In the afternoon, all the would-be warriors gathered in an empty square. In front of the square were the northern military region and the senior officials of the major forces. The actual combat assessment of prospective warriors is about to begin. Now, the prospective warriors whose names are called will come up to receive their combat uniforms and weapons. An officer on the high platform in front shouted loudly. Although he did not use a loudspeaker, his voice was clearly transmitted to the ears of every would-be warrior. Afterwards, more than a dozen officers began to shout the names of the would-be warriors. The would-be warriors whose names were called stepped forward to receive combat uniforms and weapons. By Yang Wu. Hearing his name, Yang Wu quickly stepped forward, took over his weapons, combat uniforms and other equipment under the confused eyes of the officer who distributed the equipment, and then walked aside and started to put on the equipment. After a while, Luo Feng, who was wearing a combat uniform, a sword and a shield, also ran over. Brother Yang. Looking at Yang Wu who was putting on his combat uniform, Luo Feng asked, "How about we form a team later and explore this monster town together?" Although Luo Feng wanted to hone his sword and body skills alone, he decided to give up for the sake of Yang Wu's safety. The actual combat assessment of quasi-combatants is still relatively dangerous, and there will be casualties among quasi-combatants every time. Although there are people responsible for rescue, Luo Feng is still a little uneasy. Hearing Luo Feng's words, Yang Wu smiled slightly. With Luo Feng's words, these years of hard work have not been in vain. However, of course Yang Wu would not act together with Luo Feng. Feng, I understand your good intentions, but this time I want to enter this monster town alone. After Yang Wu finished speaking, when he saw what Luo Feng wanted to say, he quickly smiled and said, "Feng, give me my weapon." Brother Yang. Yang Wu's spear was in his hand. Although Luo Feng was a little confused, he still picked it up. The moment Luo Feng just picked up Yang Wu's weapon, a trace of shock suddenly appeared on his face. Brother Yang, what is this? Luo Feng suddenly discovered that Yang Wu's spear was even heavier than the 98 kilograms blood shadow sword in his hand. What? Yang Wu smiled and said, "You, madman, can make great progress, but you, Brother Yang, can't I?" This. Luo Feng was stunned for a moment, and then said happily, "Brother Yang, have you successfully cultivated your genetic power?" "Yes." "Brother Yang, how much strength have you gained?" Luo Feng asked with a smile. Yang Wu was also very happy when he was able to successfully cultivate his genetic power and improve his strength greatly. "About 8,000 kilograms. Yang Wu pretended to be calm and said, but his heart was filled with joy. "I wonder how the future Lord Luo City will react when he hears my words." Sure enough, Luo Feng was shocked when he heard Yang Wu's words. 8,000 kilograms. Brother Yang, are you telling the truth? Did you say an extra zero? Luo Feng looked unbelieving. For the first time, he successfully cultivated the genetic power, and with the help of mental power, he gained more than 2,000 kilograms of strength. How could someone gain 8,000 kilograms of strength in one go? Of course it's true. Why did I lie to you? Yang Wu said with a smile. Luo Feng, Luo Feng. At this moment, Wu Tong, the chief instructor of the extreme martial arts gym Yangzhou City, suddenly came over. Uncle Wu. Chief instructor. Yang Wu and Luo Feng greeted hurriedly. Yang Wu is here too. Try your best to pass the assessment later. After Wu Tong encouraged Yang Wu, he quickly said to Luo Feng, come with me. After saying that, Wu Tong turned around and led the way. Uncle Wu. Luo Feng followed Wu Tong and suddenly asked, do you think any warrior can gain 8,000 kilograms of strength at once by practicing genetic energy for the first time? How is this possible? Wu Tong said with a smile, Luo Feng, this must be someone else joking with you. Is it really impossible? Although Luo Feng didn't believe it, he felt that Yang Wu would not lie to him. Let me tell you this. Wu Tong smiled angrily, you succeeded in cultivating genetic energy this time. You gained more than 2,000 kilograms of strength at once. In the Jiangnan base city, you only produce 1 or 2 kilograms a year. A genius like you. As for more geniuses, although I have never seen them, I have heard of a few. But the most is just a one-time increase of more than 4,000 kilograms of strength. Once you become a warrior, you will be a high-level warrior. Level 8,000 kilograms, I've never heard of it, it's impossible. While the two people were talking, they arrived at the second floor of a quiet small building. Here, Luo Feng encountered the provocation of Wan Dong, a talented warrior from the Thunder and Lightning martial arts school, but of course Luo Feng, who was still thinking about Yang Wu's strength, ignored him at all. In the evening, Yang Wu and more than 1,000 would-be warriors walked for more than half an hour under the leadership of soldiers, and finally arrived at the outskirts of a small town. Roar. Ouch! All kinds of disturbing monster roars came from the small town. Hurry up, there are not enough monsters inside, bring in another 1,200 iron-haired wild boars, 300 shadow cats, and 500 tiger mastiffs. The person in charge of the assessment in the town issued an order. Soon, heavy trucks drove into the town one after another. On each large truck, there were crazy monsters contained in large iron cages. 2,000 of the weakest H-class monsters were transported into the town, bringing the number of monsters in the town to an astonishing number. Everyone. An officer shouted to everyone in a small 3-story building in the town, this actual combat assessment for prospective warriors will follow the same rules as in the past. It will start at 6:30 tonight and will end tomorrow. It ends at 6:30 in the morning. Your mission is to hunt as many monsters as possible. The more monsters you hunt, the more points you get. Every time you kill a monster, cut off the monster's left ear as proof. Quasi-warriors are prohibited from killing each other, and violators will be shot directly. In the end, only the top 60% of you in terms of points can successfully obtain the warrior qualifications. The others will have to wait until the next assessment. If someone is seriously injured, be sure to quickly press the distress button on the communication watch, and someone will go to the rescue immediately. After saying this, the officer glanced at the communication watch, and then shouted loudly, "The time is up, all the quasi-warriors who have participated in the assessment, enter the monster town." With a wave of his hand, the town gate burst open, and countless would-be warriors quickly rushed into the monster town. Chapter 13 The assessment begins. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. Brother Yang, shall we act together? Just after entering the monster town, Bai Yang, who had passed the quasi-martial artist examination together, unexpectedly found Yang Wu. In monster town, would-be warriors are prohibited from killing each other, but they are not prohibited from helping and cooperating with each other. After all, even in a real wilderness area, most warriors follow the warrior team. Bai Yang originally wanted to form a team with Luo Feng, but he had long heard about Luo Feng being recruited by the extreme martial arts gym in advance and knew that the chance was slim. So he directly found Yang Wu at this time, and the two of them cooperated with each other, and the chance of passing the assessment was greater. Brother Bai, I plan to go alone for this assessment. Yang Wu rejected Bai Yang's suggestion, and then said, Brother, if you can't find a companion, I can help you introduce some. There are indeed many friends that Yang Wu has met before taking part in the quasi-martial artist examination this time. Although they are not particularly familiar, no one would refuse such a thing as forming a team, which is beneficial to both parties. No need, Brother Yang. Bai Yang shook his head and said, I can just find someone myself. Of course, Bai Yang knew more than just the two quasi-martialists, Luo Feng and Yang Wu. He just felt that it was some fate that the three of them had passed the quasi-martialist examination together before. At this time, seeing that Yang Wu didn't want to form a team with others, he naturally wouldn't continue to pester him. Okay, Yang Wu stretched out his fist and touched Bai Yang. Brother, pass the test alive. Same, pass the test alive. Bai Yang also smiled. Immediately, Bai Yang went to other familiar quasi-warriors. Yang Wu, on the other hand, walked through the alleys of the town alone after rejecting the invitations of several people. As night falls, on the edge of the town, there are large searchlights shining in all directions of the town, but there are still many places in the town that are in darkness. The monsters in this town are all the lowest level beast level monsters, and they pose no threat to me at all. Yang Wu walked slowly in the alley with a broken army gun in his hand. Although Yang Wu is very confident in his own strength, the various combat experiences gained from the simulator still make him cautious. At this moment, a black shadow suddenly appeared in the shadow area next to Yang Wu. The black shadow was extremely fast and turned out to be a shadow cat with a length of half a meter. At this time, the gray hair on the shadow cat's body stood up, and the spikes on its claws shone with a cold light. Whoosh. The shadow cat, which had just been released from the cage, was already extremely hungry. After seeing Yang Wu, he immediately rushed over at an alarming speed. Court death. Yang Wu sneered, and the broken army gun in his hand shook violently, and then a cold light suddenly appeared in the night sky, and the shadow cat who was charging forward lost his life in the blink of an eye. Although this was Yang Wu's first time hunting monsters in reality, Yang Wu didn't feel any discomfort. Because he had hunted too many monsters in the simulator, those combat experiences were as if Yang Wu had experienced them himself. Plop. The huge corpse of Shadow Cat still rushed forward for more than 10 meters relying on its previous inertia, and then it hit the ground heavily. Shadow Cat's body was still very well preserved, except for a blood hole that had appeared in the left eye. Yang Wu took 2 steps forward and drew out his dagger to collect materials from the Shadow Cat. After taking some time, Yang Wu realized that he was participating in the actual combat assessment of prospective warriors. With a self-deprecating smile, Yang Wu swiped the army-breaking gun in his hand, and Shadow Cat's left ear fell off instantly. Yang Wu put the monster's left ear in his backpack, then walked aside and waited silently. Monsters are cruel in nature and are very sensitive to the smell of blood. With the density of monsters in Monster Town, a large number of monsters will arrive here in a few minutes at most, which saves Yang Wu from constantly searching. What followed was a complete one-sided massacre. Yang Wu, who had the strength of an elementary general, faced these lowest-level beast-level monsters, and it was a one-sided massacre. The bloody smell attracted a large number of monsters, and at the same time, it also caused countless would-be warriors to take a detour. The broken army gun in Yang Wu's hand is like the sickle in the hand of death, harvesting the lives of countless monsters here. It wasn't until the strong bloody smell scared the monsters that they didn't dare to rush over again, that Yang Wu went to another place. 1, 2, 10, 100. Countless monsters died in Yang Wu's hands. By around 9 p.m., just over 2 hours before the assessment began, the backpack behind Yang Wu was already filled with monster left ears. On the other side, not far from the closed town, in a small room in a large building, an officer was sitting and drinking with a burly man. Report. A voice suddenly sounded outside the room. Come in. Hojin's voice fell, and an officer opened the door and walked into the room. What happened? Under normal circumstances, if there are no special circumstances, no one will disturb him during the assessment process. So Hojin asked quickly. Report. The number of monsters in Monster Town seems to be insufficient. Do you want to transport a batch of monsters over immediately? The officer immediately reported. How is this possible? Hojin asked doubtfully. Didn't we just transport 2,000 monsters in? Although he was confused, Hojin still ordered without hesitation, give me the order to transport 1,000 monsters into the town again. We must ensure that the actual combat assessment goes smoothly. In addition, immediately send an elite team into the town to detect the monsters. The reason for the large number of disappearances is that the personal safety of the would-be warriors who participate in the assessment must be ensured. Although he had never encountered such a situation, Hojin still issued various orders in an orderly manner. Iron Monkey. The burly man who was silent on the side suddenly said, I think I have found the reason why the monsters disappeared in large numbers. What? Hojin quickly looked at the burly man. Old Wang, this is no joke. I don't have time to joke with you, look at the screen. Wang Heng, a burly man, pointed at a monitor on the screen and shouted. Ha! Hojin quickly followed Wang Heng's gaze. I saw more than a dozen monsters of various types on the screen besieging a quasi-warrior in his 20s. However, in the blink of an eye, he killed more than a dozen monsters. On the ground beside him, countless monster corpses lay there. Specialized level marksmanship. Hojin was stunned for a moment, then he immediately reacted and said to the officer who had not yet left, "Shaoli, you immediately send someone to transport 1,000 monsters into the town, and then immediately bring me the person under surveillance." Damn, is it easy for me to catch so many monsters? He did it all by himself. Hojin laughed and said, "I must let him make it up to me." That the officer was ordered to leave quickly. When Wang Heng heard Hojin's laughter, his heart tightened, and he quickly said, "Iron Monkey, I discovered this person first." Wang Heng originally didn't want to tell Hojin about this, but he didn't know Yang Wu at all, and Hojin controlled the entire military region, so it was only a matter of time before he found Yang Wu. What's more, the two have had decades of friendship. Wang Heng didn't choose to hide it, but he didn't expect that the other party also fell in love with Yang Wu. Old Wang. Hojin sighed and said slowly, "As you know, our military has always been at the forefront of resisting monsters and lacks high-level combat capabilities. If this person is just a genius with a professional level of marksmanship, I will never argue with you. But this person's physical fitness has probably reached the level of a junior general. With this kind of strength, he can already stand alone, and our military will never give up." Both Hojin and Hojin are the best among high-level warriors, so they can naturally analyze Yang Wu's strength through video. After hearing what Hojin said, Wang Heng was stunned for a moment. Of course he knew that it was not easy for the military, and Hojin had also helped him a lot over the years. Iron Monkey. Wang Heng sighed and said, "You have already said this, how can I argue with you?" But Wang Heng suddenly changed the topic. "If this person has not taken the treasure to improve his physical fitness, our Thunder and Lightning martial arts school will have to compete with him." Hojin felt relieved when he heard that Wang Heng gave up on his own initiative. If the Thunder and Lightning martial arts school is determined to compete, Hojin really doesn't have much confidence in recruiting him. After all, in terms of conditions, the two schools are almost the same, but the Thunder and Lightning martial arts school offers more freedom. As for what Wang Heng said, if the other party had never taken a treasure to improve his physical fitness, Hojin was not worried at all. Just after reaching the assessment standards for quasi-warriors, his physical fitness can be improved to that of an elementary warrior, and his strength must have increased by more than 8,000 kilograms. Hojin has never heard of such a monster in all his years of life. Chapter 14 Accident. Please follow up. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. On the other side, Zhuge Tao, one of the four giants of the Jiangnan Bay City Extreme Club, was standing outside Monster Town chatting with Director Liu of the Jiangnan Bay City Security Bureau. "Zhuge, tell me, can the score of the little genius your extreme martial arts school recruit this time be better than that of the Thunder and Lightning martial arts school?" Lu Dong asked with a smile. The Extreme Martial Arts Gym and the Thunderbolt Martial Arts Gym were established by Hong, the strongest man in the world, and Lei Shen, the second strongest man, respectively. Since the beginning of their establishment, the two major martial arts schools have been competing with each other, trying to outdo each other in everything. And the talented warriors recruited every year are naturally part of them. That little guy Luo Feng is quite stable. I wonder if he can give me a surprise this time. Zhuge Tao said calmly. Zhuge Tao thought of Luo Feng's performance when the genius from the Thunder and Lightning martial arts school provoked him, and a smile appeared on his face. However, both Wan Dong and Luo Feng are just some talented young people, and the competition between them is nothing more than Zhuge Tao and others having fun, and cannot be taken seriously at all. At this moment, waves of monster roars suddenly came from outside the town. What's going on? Zhuge Tao and Lu Dong were shocked and quickly looked behind them warily. I saw a few heavy trucks driving towards Monster Town again. It's a vehicle for transporting monsters. Lu Dong said in confusion. What did Hojin do to transport monsters now? No. Zhuge Tao looked serious. Before the assessment started, Hojin had already transported a batch of monsters. Now that we are transporting them again, something must have happened that we don't understand. Let's go there and take a look. That's fine. After saying that, Zhuge Tao walked directly towards the large building where Hou Zhen and Wang Heng were. Yang Wu, who had just finished hunting a wave of incoming monsters, was planning to rush to another place to continue hunting monsters. Suddenly, several rapid footsteps came from not far away. Yang Wu looked up and saw several warriors wearing military combat uniforms rushing towards him. What's going on? Yang Wu was a little confused, but he was secretly wary. From what Yang Wu knew about the situation, if the would-be warriors had not pressed the distress button, these people would not have appeared at all. Examiner Yang Wu, please don't be nervous. We are military personnel responsible for the assessment. We are just asking for your cooperation if anything happens. Seeing Yang Wu's vigilant look, the leading officer couldn't help but slow down his pace. While explaining his purpose, he took out his ID. Yang Wu's expression softened a little, and he nodded to a few people, and asked, I am undergoing the assessment for quasi-warriors, do you have anything to do with me? The officer looked at the large number of monster corpses around and was very surprised. He slowly walked up to Yang Wu and said, Examiner Yang Wu, our commander in the northern military region wants to see you, please come with me. After hearing this, Yang Wu knew in his heart that his battle scene must have been seen. Okay. Yang Wu responded and followed a few people out of the monster town. In the small room in the large building, Wang Heng and Hou Zhen had no intention of drinking. Iron Monkey, haven't you found out this person's information yet? Don't let Zhuge Tao from the Extreme Martial Arts School take it away. Wang Heng said, just give it to the Chinese military. If such a genius is snatched away by someone from the Extreme Martial Arts Hall, he will probably be depressed for a long time. I have sent people to check, but it can't be that fast. Why are you so anxious? This person might have been a student of your Thunder Martial Arts School before. Hou Zhen said calmly. Now that he has the upper hand, he naturally doesn't panic. At this moment, there was a knock on the door. Here we come. Hou Zhen's face was filled with joy and he shouted quickly, come in. Ha ha ha. Lu Dong's hearty laughter came from outside the door. Lao Ho, you are so comfortable hiding here and drinking. Why is he here? Wang Heng and Hou Zhen frowned when they heard Lu Dong's voice. Although Hou Zhen and Lu Dong both belong to the Huaxia kingdom, they belong to different systems after all, and there is also a lot of competition between them. When Wang Heng and others saw Zhuge Tao also walking in, they felt even more depressed. Zhuge, Lao Lu, why are you here? Hou Zhen's face was like a magic trick. It was full of bitterness just now, but it immediately turned into a smile. Lao Ho. Lu Dong asked directly and seriously without being polite, Zhuge and I just saw that the sergeants were transporting monsters to the town again. Could there be some problem? No. An unnatural look flashed across Hou Zhen's face, and he said quickly, it's just a small mistake in calculating the number of monsters before. If you don't believe me, you can go and have a look now. Come on, I'll take you there. After saying that, Hou Zhen winked at Wang Heng and was about to leave with Zhuge Tao. Lao Ho. Zhuge Tao, who had been paying attention to Hou Zhen's expression, suddenly said, you and Lao Wang are hiding something from me and Lao Lu, right? What can I hide from you? Hou Zhen retorted guiltily. Report. Suddenly, there was another voice outside the door, but this time, there was no smile on Hou Zhen's face. Under the gaze of Zhuge Tao and Lu Dong, Hou Zhen could only let people in and asked, what's going on? Report, sir. The officer who came in did not see Hou Zhen's eyes at all, and said directly, I have found the information about the person you asked to find. This person's name is Yang Wu, and he is from the Extreme Martial Arts School in Yangzhou City. A senior student who just passed the quasi-martial artist exam last month. Lao Ho. Zhuge Tao heard the officer who came in mention the name of the Extreme Martial Arts School, and he was already secretly wary. He asked directly, just now, was he talking about Yang Wu from our Extreme Martial Arts School? Although Zhuge Tao still doesn't know who Yang Wu is, it does not prevent him from classifying Yang Wu as a member of the Extreme Martial Arts School. This. Hou Zhen hesitated, not knowing whether to tell the actual situation. Hey. At this time, Wang Heng from the Leiden Martial Arts School suddenly laughed and said, "Zhuge, then Yang Wu is just a student in your extreme martial arts school. He has never signed a contract with you, so how can he become a member of your extreme martial arts school?" Old Wang. Although Zhuge Tao didn't know what was going on, what Wang Heng objected to must be what he wanted to insist on, then Yang Wu is studying in my ultimate martial arts gym, so of course he is a member of my ultimate martial arts gym. What's there to argue about? At this time, Lu Dong looked confused and asked directly to Ho Zhen, "Old Ho, what is going on with this Yang Wu? Is it related to the monsters that were just transported in?" Ho Zhen knew that when Yang Wu was brought here, he would not be able to hide it from Zhuge Tao, so he simply told the truth about the matter. "What did you say? War General level strength. How is this possible?" Zhuge Tao and Lu Dong were both stunned. As one of the giants of their respective forces in the Jiangnan base city, it is not that they have never seen geniuses, on the contrary, they have seen a lot of geniuses, but if they have just participated in the quasi-warrior assessment, they can have geniuses with warrior-level strength. They really have never heard of it. Otherwise, why didn't I tell you just now? Lao Wang and I saw it with our own eyes, how could we lie to you? Ho Zhen said with a helpless smile, "If you two really don't believe me, don't argue with me for a while." Ha ha ha. Zhuge Tao and Lu Dong both laughed. "We have known each other for so many years, how can we still not trust you? Just kidding, how can you not fight for such a genius?" After Zhuge Tao finished laughing, he said solemnly, "If this person really has never taken any treasure to increase physical fitness, I'm afraid he can enter the God of War training camp." God of War training camp? Ho Zhen and others were a little surprised. Not bad. Wang Heng from the Thunder Martial Arts School also said, "If this person really increased his strength by nearly 8,000 kilograms through practicing genetic energy, his talent must be very terrifying. Coupled with the professional level marksmanship, he will enter the God of War training camp shouldn't be difficult." After hearing this, everyone fell into silence. At this moment, Yang Wu also followed the officer leading the team outside the room. "Report, that I started to test the waters today. Please read it and support me. If I advance next week, I will add 2 chapters next weekend." Chapter 15, All Parties Win Over Each Other. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. Report. The officer leading Yang Wu reported to Foreign Exchange at the door, "I have brought Yang Wu who is undergoing an assessment." The door to the room was not closed at this time. Yang Wu looked inside and found that he didn't recognize anyone inside. "Yang Wu, right?" Zhuge Tao saw Yang Wu appear and greeted him with a smile. "Let me meet you, I am the director of the Extreme Martial Arts Gym, Zhuge Tao. Angel investor Zhuge Tao." Yang Wu, who is familiar with the original work, certainly knows who Zhuge Tao is. It was he who invested in Luo Feng when Luo Feng first became a warrior. Then, the few people in the room should be the giants of other major forces. Yang Wu thought to himself. "My lord in charge." Yang Wu bowed slightly and greeted. "No need to be polite." Zhuge Tao showed a gentle smile on his face and asked Yang Wu, "Yang Wu, has your physical fitness reached the level of a junior general?" "Yes." Yang Wu replied calmly. He planned to make a splash this time, and of course he would not hide his strength. "Have you ever taken treasures such as dragon's blood and chalcedony to improve physical fitness, or genetic medicine?" Zhuge Tao asked expectantly. Lu Dong and the 3 people in the room also looked at Yang Wu expectantly. "No." Yang Wu replied without hesitation. They were asking about treasures, which definitely did not include the help of a time simulator. "Yang Wu, come with me." After hearing Yang Wu's affirmative answer, Zhuge Tao quickly pulled Yang Wu out. "Zhuge! Zhuge Tao!" The 3 people behind them shouted loudly, and then quickly followed. After knowing that he could not successfully leave this place, Zhuge Tao turned around and said with a smile, "You 3, it was just a joke." "Humph, this joke is not funny at all." Wang Heng snorted, and then walked to Yang Wu and said with a smile, "Yang Wu, you are a genius, how about you join my Thunder and Lightning Martial Arts School, my thunder and lightning. The treatment given to warriors by the martial arts hall is much higher than that of the extreme martial arts hall. After hearing Wang Heng's words, Zhuge Tao also snorted coldly, but he did not refute, because the treatment given to warriors by thunder and lightning martial arts school was indeed better than that of extreme martial arts school. However, Zhuge Tao did not sit idle, but immediately took out his communication watch and started to contact others. Yang Wu, I am Lu Dong, the director of the Jiangnan Base City Security Bureau. You should know that our security bureau is responsible for everything about the warriors in the base city. In our etc. Before Lu Dong finished speaking, he was suddenly interrupted by Zhuge Tao, who stared at him with an unhappy expression. Zhuge Tao ignored Lu Dong and quickly asked Yang Wu, are you 24 years old this year? Yes. Yang Wu replied. What? 24 years old? What a pity, what a pity. Wang Heng and the other two people all regretted that their attitude towards wooing Yang Wu was not as strong as before. As we all know, the stage when a warrior's strength improves most rapidly is from the age of 16 to 30. After this stage, the progress of a warrior's strength becomes extremely slow, and Yang Wu is already 24 years old at this time. If Yang Wu were 5 or 6 years younger, or even 4 years old, Zhuge Tao and others could help him apply for a spot in the elite training camp. At first, the four people thought that Yang Wu could enter the elite training camp because they felt that Yang Wu could not be older than 20 years old, but they never thought that Yang Wu, who could increase his strength by nearly 8,000 kilograms by practicing genetic energy for the first time, would only meet the assessment standards for quasi-warriors when he was 24 years old. This is completely contrary to common sense. There are still many junior generals who are 24 years old in the world. Even if you have mastered professional level marksmanship, you can at most be able to enter the basic training camp, but you still cannot meet the admission standards of the elite training camp. Moreover, most of the 24-year-olds in the basic training camp are about to graduate, so Yang Wu's role in joining is not particularly big. The most important point is that the god of war is hard to find. There are a lot of warriors in the world who are stuck at the peak of high-level warriors, but the total number of war gods in the world is only more than 3,000. It stands to reason that the physical fitness of these high-level warriors has reached the point where it is extremely close to the god of war. As long as there is a slight breakthrough, they can step into the threshold of the god of war, but just at this step, I don't know how many people were stopped, and there was also an influence of age. 2 people with the same strength, one is over 30 years old and the other is under 30 years old. It is obvious that the one under 30 years old is easier to break through. Of course, there are some precious treasures in the world. As long as there is enough wealth to buy the treasures, even a warrior in his 70s or 80s can easily break through the bottleneck. The greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. Of course, this does not mean that Zhuge Tao and the others do not want to win over Yang Wu. Even a 24-year-old junior general is considered a good genius in the eyes of the four, not to mention that this general has also mastered professional-level marksmanship. After a moment of silence, Wang Heng from the Thunder and Lightning Martial Arts School was the first to make his offer. Yang Wu, although you are a little older, I still admire you very much. Now, I formally invite you to join our Thunder and Lightning Martial Arts School. The conditions our Thunder Martial Arts School offers to talented warriors are much higher than those of the Extreme Martial Arts School. 1. You can choose a single-family villa to live in within the main city and acropolis of our Jiangnan base city. Of course, you only have the right to live, not the right to buy or sell. 2. You can get a startup capital of 25 million, as well as various cheats with a price of no more than 50 million. 3. If you are interested, I can apply for you to participate in special training activities at our Thunder Martial Arts School. Although you are a bit old, it will still be of some help to you. For the recruitment of talented warriors, the starting capital provided by the Extreme Martial Arts Hall is only 20 million, while the Thunder and Lightning Martial Arts Hall has 25 million, which is indeed much higher. After hearing Wang Heng's conditions, Ho Zhen and Lu Dong felt relieved. These conditions are the recruitment standards for talented warriors of the 2 major martial arts schools. Although they are not bad, they are not very attractive to a warrior-level warrior. Only the special training contract at the end is still somewhat attractive. Yang Wu. Ho Zhen also opened his mouth to solicit, Our military's starting capital for talented warriors is only 10 million, and the price limit for cheat books is also 50 million. However, after joining the military, your family can live in the warrior community built specifically for warriors by our military. In our country of China, the protection of the military's community of warriors is the most comprehensive. Even if there is an existence beyond the God of War level, it is impossible to deal with your family. Of course, if you are interested in going to the basic training camp, I can also help you submit an application. After hearing Hou Zhen's conditions, Yang Wu was immediately moved. In the original work, after Luo Feng's suspected death, Li Yao and his wife used secular means to deal with Luo Feng's family. If Luo Feng had lived in a military community for warriors, such a thing might not have happened. However, after joining the Huaxia kingdom, I may need to perform various tasks issued by superiors just like in the second simulation. Whether it is cultivation or anything else, I will not have as much freedom as I do now. Yang Wu, the conditions of our security bureau are similar to those of the military. Moreover, our security bureau has the greatest influence in the base city. Lu Dong said with a smile, join us and you will have more time. Spend time with your family. After talking about their conditions, Wang Heng and the others looked at Zhuge Tao. After all, Yang Wu was closer to the ultimate martial arts school. Chapter 16 Choice. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. The conditions are very rich. Zhuge Tao smiled, and then said to Yang Wu, after the assessment of prospective warriors, your talent was not discovered. I admit that it was the mistake of my ultimate martial arts school. However, please believe that the talents of my ultimate martial arts school are sincerity is the greatest. The villa and the special training contract are similar to those of our extreme martial arts school and Thunderbolt martial arts school. As for the startup capital. Looking at Wang Heng with a smile, Zhuge Tao continued, my extreme martial arts school can give you a startup capital of 50 million. As well as various cheats priced within 100 million. After hearing Zhuge Tao's conditions, Hou Zhen and the others changed their expressions. Zhuge? What's this? Wang Heng said with some dissatisfaction, aren't you afraid that the top management of the martial arts school will not approve your offer? Wang Heng was very clear about the treatment given to talented warriors by the Extreme Martial Arts Hall, including 20 million startup capital and 50 million cheats to choose from, but Zhuge Tao's current conditions were more than twice as high. The rules of the Extreme Martial Arts Gym are very strict. Even Zhuge Tao, as the supervisor, has no right to change the conditions for recruiting talented warriors. Zhuge Tao smiled and said, I will pay for the excess. Zhuge Tao has always attached great importance to genius. He has invested in many geniuses, some of which failed, but a few of them have now become God of War powerhouses and become one of his supporters. Overall, the gains outweigh the expenses. Are you going to pay the bill? Wang Heng frowned slightly. Okay. Let's not talk about this for now. Zhuge Tao ignored Wang Heng and asked Yang Wu with a smile, Yang Wu, we have made our conditions known. How are you considering it? After listening to the conditions given by several people, Yang Wu was silent for a moment and finally made his own choice. Thank you to the seniors for your love. However, most of the juniors instructors and some of the senior brothers in the past have joined the Extreme Martial Arts Gym. Therefore, the junior also plans to join the Extreme Martial Arts Gym. Yang Wu said apologetically, although he envied the safety conditions of the community for military warriors, Yang Wu still chose the Extreme Martial Arts Gym in order to have more freedom. Moreover, in terms of various treasures, the Ultimate Martial Arts Hall has more. As long as Yang Wu's status in the Extreme Martial Arts Gym continues to improve, it is not difficult to obtain it. Okay. Zhuge Tao said with a smile, Yang Wu, I will call someone to take you to sign the contract. Seeing that Yang Wu chose the Extreme Martial Arts School, although Wang Heng and the others felt a little regretful, they didn't say much. They really couldn't open it with Zhuge Tao's conditions, or in other words, they were unwilling to open it. After a while, Wu Tong, the chief instructor of Yangzhou City Extreme Martial Arts Gym, appeared in the room. Supervisor. Wu Tong greeted respectfully. Wu Tong, you are finally here. Zhuge Tao smiled and said, go and draft a contract with Yang Wu to recruit talented warriors. According to the old rules. However, the starting capital will be changed to 50 million, and the price limit of the cheats will be changed. It's 100 million, and I'll pay for the excess. This. The conditions given by Zhuge Tao completely shocked Wu Tong. Even before Luo Feng and Zhuge Tao only changed the price limit of cheat books, but this Yang Wu has 30 million more startup capital. Luo Feng is only 18 years old, but Yang Wu is already 24 years old. This had to make Wu Tong wonder if he had heard wrongly. Why are you so stunned? Zhuge Tao said with a smile, Wu Tong, please pay attention, Yang Wu's current strength is not lower than yours. What? Wu Tong glanced at Yang Wu in surprise, but did not dare to say anything more. He, Wu Tong, is a general-level warrior. At this time, Wu Tong suddenly remembered the question Luo Feng had asked him before the assessment. This Yang Wu, couldn't he have gained 8,000 kilograms of strength just for the first time by practicing genetic energy? No, this is simply impossible. Wu Tong thought to himself. Zhuge Tao looked at Yang Wu who was standing aside. Yang Wu, you go and sign the contract with Wu Tong first. As for the basic training camp, you think about it first. If you plan to go, just tell me and I will apply for you immediately. Yes, supervisor, Yang Wu replied respectfully, and then followed Wu Tong out of the room. Zhuge, 80 million Chinese coins are so courageous. Wang Heng sighed at the side after Yang Wu and others left. Why, it's as if none of you can afford such a small amount of money. Zhuge Tao said with a smile, although 80 million huaxia coins is a lot, the 4 people in the room now are not the powerful boss. Each of them has the strength of a high-level warrior. To the 4 of them, 80 million huaxia coins is really just a small amount of money. Although 80 million Chinese coins are not much, there is no way to enter the God of War preparatory camp. The possibility of Yang Wu reaching the God of War level before he is 30 is very low, and after the age of 30, his strength growth will definitely slow down. Maybe he will be stuck as a high-level general like the rest of us. Wang Heng said sourly. After knowing each other for many years, Wang Heng certainly knew that Zhuge Tao had a hobby of investing genius. He, Wang Heng, would usually work hard to train some talented warriors, but if he was asked to put in as much effort as Zhuge Tao, he would not do it. Even when Luo Feng was recruited in the original work, the 300 million liquidated damages had to be paid by the martial arts school. First, investing in talented warriors is risky. As long as the person being invested does not reach the God of War level, even a high-level general, for people like them. Neither is too helpful. Secondly, these investments are in the form of gifts, and those who invest do not need to return them at all. Even if the other party can reach the God of War level, as long as the other party is unwilling to help, he will not gain any benefit. Therefore, investing in geniuses like this is like gambling. Although it is possible to get a God of War supporter in the future, the investment is more likely to fail. After hearing Wang Heng's words, Lu Dong and Ho Zhen also nodded. Although 80 million Chinese coins is not much, if they were asked to use it to win over a talented warrior, they would not be willing to do so. It's just a small attempt. Zhuge Tao said casually. Before that, Zhuge Tao had completely investigated Yang Wu's information, including the fact that Yang Wu worked in a tavern owned by a disciple of the Wang family. It was after he was sure that Yang Wu was not a repaying person that he greatly improved the recruitment conditions of the extreme martial arts gym. As for whether Yang Wu can reach the God of War level, he thinks it is still very possible. By the way, Lao Wang, are you talking about this assessment? Can Wandong, the young genius from your Thunder and Lightning martial arts school, hunt more monsters than Luo Feng from my extreme martial arts school? Do you want to compare? Zhuge Tao asked casually. Zhuge Tao was in a pretty good mood after just recruiting Yang Wu to the extreme martial arts gym. Go. Who has time to compete with you? Wang Heng was not in a happy mood at this time. Let's go, I have to keep drinking. Chapter 17. The assessment is over. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Yang Wu, the supervisor just said that your strength is not worse than mine. Walking on the road, Wu Tong asked Yang Wu out of curiosity and surprise. Instructor, my physical fitness has only reached the level of a junior warrior. My strength is definitely not as good as yours. Yang Wu said modestly. Good guy. Although Wu Tong was already prepared, he was still shocked when he heard Yang Wu's affirmative answer, this is a junior warrior. He, Wu Tong, had been born and died in the wilderness area for more than 10 years before he achieved his current strength. Yang Wu had just become a quasi-warrior, and had he achieved this? Chief Instructor. Seeing that Wu Tong was distracted, Yang Wu, who was following behind, couldn't help but remind him. Ah! Yang Wu, from now on you can just call me Lao Wu, or call me Uncle Wu like Luo Feng. Yang Wu is no weaker than him now, and he is not considered Yang Wu's teacher. Naturally, he cannot let Yang Wu call him instructor anymore. Wu Tong sighed as he walked. I thought that Luo Feng could be considered a genius now that he has the strength of an intermediate warrior level, but I didn't expect that Yang Wu, you. Uncle Wu, I was just lucky, after a while. Okay, we're here. Wu Tong said. Yang Wu looked forward and saw that the two of them had arrived in a wide hall. This is the place where my extreme martial arts school will recruit warriors for this actual combat assessment. After Wu Tong finished speaking, he led Yang Wu and walked inside. After Wu Tong walked into the lobby, a young woman in a white suit who had been waiting in the lobby came over with a printed contract. Instructor Wu, this is the contract that the supervisor ordered to print. The young woman handed the contract and pen to Wu Tong. Wu Tong took the contract and the pen, handed them to Yang Wu, pointed to two places and said, Yang Wu, here, and here, just sign your name. Yang Wu took the contract and read it carefully. The conditions in the contract are very clear, and several clauses are also clearly written, leaving no room for confusion. After reading it, Yang Wu immediately signed his name. Mr. Yang Wu. After Yang Wu signed, the young woman in a white suit smiled and said, from today on, you can move your home directly into the Warrior Villa community. Startup funds and special funds to purchase cheats. It will also be entered into your warrior account soon. Please pay attention to check it. Yang Wu nodded. After reminding Yang Wu, the young woman left. She still had to get Zhuge Tao to sign the contract. Yang Wu, where are you going to move your family? Why not move to Mingyue community? Wu Tong asked after the young woman left. Now there are only 3 general-level warriors in Yangzhou City's extreme martial arts gym. Finally, there is a general-level warrior again. Wu Tong doesn't want Yang Wu to run away. Okay. Yang Wu agreed. He originally planned to move to Mingyue community. Time passed quickly, and soon it was the early morning of the next day. At this time, at the entrance of Monster Town, quasi-warriors taking part in the assessment were already coming out one after another. After a night of fighting monsters, everyone's face was more or less tired, and the combat uniforms they wore were covered in blood. Next to the exit of the town, people from the military had already begun to count the number of monsters killed by the would-be warriors. Wang Hao, 3 monsters left ear, slightly injured on the back. Zhou Tao, the left ears of the 4 monsters are not injured. Zhao Tianyun, 2 monsters left ears, left leg injured. The would-be warriors were either happy or frustrated. They all lined up in silence and listened quietly to the officer in charge of the assessment reporting their results. Since Yang Wu has joined the extreme martial arts gym, he naturally will not seek the limelight anymore, so he randomly took out 5 monster left ears and registered them. Afterwards, Yang Wu and Wu Tong waited at the entrance for Luo Feng to come out. Look, Luo Feng, who was recruited by the extreme martial arts gym in advance, is here. I wonder how many monsters he has hunted. High physical fitness does not mean that you are good at hunting monsters. As several exclamations rang out, Yang Wu turned around and saw Luo Feng wearing a combat uniform walking out of the monster town. Luo Feng, 36 monster left ears, that's good. So far, you have hunted the most monsters among this approved warriors, and you haven't been injured. After a while, the officer in charge of the assessment reported Luo Feng's results. So many. It's amazing. He is indeed a genius who can be specially recruited by the extreme martial arts gym. There were bursts of exclamations from the crowd. Luo Feng's strength is pretty good, he has high physical fitness and good combat ability. Wu Tong also sighed at the side. If he uses his mental power, he might kill more people than me. Yang Wu thought to himself, Luo Feng's current physical fitness is at the intermediate warrior level. Based on the fact that his mental power is 2 levels higher than that of a warrior, his level as a mentalist has also reached the level of a junior warrior. Psychics can hunt monsters much faster than warriors, not to mention the lowest level beast-level monsters. At this time, Luo Feng, who had finished the assessment, had noticed Yang Wu and Wu Tong. "Uncle Wu, Brother Yang." Luo Feng shouted in the crowd, and then quickly walked over. Luo Feng's shout also made other would-be warriors notice Yang Wu. Who are those 2 people? They seem to be very powerful. I know that older man, Wu Tong, the chief instructor of the extreme martial arts school in Yangzhou City. He has warrior-level strength. Warlord level. I don't know when I will reach the warrior level. Where's the other guy? The other person seems to be named Yang Wu. I heard that he is also a quasi-warrior taking part in the assessment this time. Luo Feng. Yang Wu saw Luo Feng coming and laughed and said, "You have made a small splash this time." Luo Feng smiled sheepishly. Wu Tong curled his lips at the side and thought to himself, if this counts as the limelight, then Yang Wu don't know how much more than Luo Feng. That when Zhuge Tao called Wu Tong over, Wu Tong knew all the giants in the room. Any fool would know that the reason why these people got together must be for Yang Wu. "Brother Yang, how many monsters have you killed? You should be able to pass the test," Luo Feng asked with a smile. He still remembered that when the assessment began, Yang Wu said that he had gained 8,000 kilograms of strength. "Not many, I only killed 5, I can barely pass the test." Hearing Yang Wu's words, Wu Tong was speechless again. When Yang Wu threw away the left ear of the monster used for assessment just now, he could see it clearly. 5? I'm afraid there are more than 500. Really unable to listen anymore, Wu Tong said quickly, "Yang Wu, Luo Feng, you go change clothes first, and I'll go check on the other people in our martial arts studio." "Okay." Yang Wu and Luo Feng responded quickly. Chapter 18 Moving. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. After Wu Tong left, Luo Feng suddenly took out his mobile phone from his arms. "I passed the actual combat assessment. I have to inform my family immediately." "Brother Yang, have you informed your uncle and aunt?" "Not yet, just in time." Yang Wu smiled and also took out his mobile phone. He came out relatively early, and it was still dark at that time. Of course, Yang Wu would not disturb his family. "Now that it's daybreak, I can tell my parents and younger brother the good news." Yang Wu and Luo Feng dialed their home phones at the same time. Yangzhou City, one of the 8 major cities in Jiangnan Base City, Lanta Community, is located in Yang Wu's home on the 26th floor. "Yuenda, do you think all can pass the actual combat assessment?" According to the information we found on the internet, the quasi-warrior's actual combat assessment generally has a mortality rate of 3% to 5%, and the disability rate is even higher. If I had known this, I wouldn't have let him go. At the dinner table, Lu Yuhua had no intention of eating at all and asked with a worried look. In her heart, her son's safety is the most important thing. "Mom, don't worry." Yang Fan was not affected by the atmosphere at the dinner table at all. He was still eating and drinking when he should. The second brother participated in the actual combat assessment with Brother Feng, and Brother Feng was a genius who was recruited in advance by the Extreme Martial Arts Gym. Now Brother Feng and his family have moved to the Mingyue community of the Extreme Martial Arts Gym. When it came to Luo Feng's family moving, Yang Fan looked envious. There is not even one genius like Brother Feng in the entire city of Yangzhou every year. With Brother Feng taking care of my second brother, why can't he still pass the test? You guys just wait to move. Thinking that after Yang Wu passed the examination, his family could also move to a single-family villa, Yang Fan looked forward to it and had a big appetite. Hearing what Yang Fan said, Lu Yuhua and Yang Yuanda looked at each other and finally felt relieved. Suddenly, a pleasant cell phone ringtone rang. Lu Yuhua took out her cell phone from her jacket pocket and looked at it, finally showing a hint of joy on her face. It's Ao's phone number. Mom, pick it up quickly. My second brother must have passed the test to report the good news, because of Luo phone, Yang Fan firmly believed that Yang Wu could pass the assessment. Oh, is that you? Lu Yuhua asked excitedly after answering the phone. Mom, it's me. Yang Wu asked with concern, have you had breakfast? I've eaten. Lu Yuhua said quickly, how was your assessment? Are you not injured? Mom, don't worry, I'm doing very well. Yang Wu said with a smile, I also passed the combat assessment for prospective warriors, and I will be home later. Lu Yuhua's phone was on speakerphone, and Yang Yuanda and his son also heard Yang Wu's voice on the phone. Yang Fan didn't care about eating anymore, and hurriedly ran to Lu Yuhua and said loudly next to the mobile phone, second brother, if you pass the test, can you also join the extreme martial arts gym? I also want to go to Mingyue Community. Yang Fan once went to Mingyue Community to find Luo Feng. After just one visit, he fell in love with the environment there. Xiao Fan, don't make trouble. Yang Yuanda shouted from the side, and then motioned to Lu Yuhua to give him the phone. Taking the phone, Yang Yuanda said quickly, oh, don't listen to Xiao Fan. You can join wherever you want. It will be the same wherever our family moves. Dad, my previous instructors and many friends, including Luo Feng, have all joined the extreme martial arts gym. Of course I have also joined the extreme martial arts gym. Yang Wu said with a smile, Dad, you can rest assured. I have signed a contract with the extreme martial arts gym, and when I return, our family can move to Mingyue Community. Okay. Yang Yuanda was very excited and said quickly, I will ask your sister and brother-in-law to come over soon. When you come back, let's celebrate together. Okay. Thinking of his eldest sister Yang Yun, whom he had not seen for a long time, Yang Wu smiled and said, I will be home this afternoon. After hanging up the phone, Yang Wu and Luo Feng came to the warrior rest hall to rest together. After the assessment of all the would-be warriors was completed, Yang Wu returned to the base city with the other would-be warriors that afternoon. After getting off the bus, Yang Wu quickly returned home. At this time, his parents, sister-in-law, and brother Yang Fan had already prepared sumptuous meals and were waiting for Yang Wu. After celebrating and having a good time, at the suggestion of younger brother Yang Fan, the family decided to move to Mingyue Community immediately. So Yang Wu found the phone number of a moving company near Lanta Community and called a large truck. After a while, a large truck stopped downstairs of Yang Wu's house. But an unexpected person got out of the passenger seat of the truck. It was actually Prince Jean. Brother Wang, what are you doing? Yang Wu asked doubtfully after going downstairs. Oh, don't I know that you passed the practical examination? I know that you plan to move in the near future, so I thought I could help. Wang Zijin said with a smile on his face, it just so happens that the moving company you are looking for is a property in my name, so I came with you. After hearing what Wang Zijin said, Yang Wu was speechless. He had worked for Wang Zijin for 3 years. Although he didn't know exactly how much property Wang Zijin owned, it would never include such a moving company. In fact, Yang Wu could more or less guess what Wang Zijin was thinking. Brother Wang, although I have not joined the Wang family, based on our relationship, if you have anything to do in the future, you can just tell me directly. There is no need to do this. Yang Wu said helplessly, facing Wang Zijin's kindness. He was really embarrassed to refuse. Seeing Yang Wu's expression, Wang Zijin felt happy. What he wanted to see was this scene in front of him. If you give money directly, you will most likely be rejected. Moreover, Yang Wu has now become a warrior and will definitely not be short of money in the future. However, Yang Wu's family is ordinary people, and he can definitely start from this aspect. Therefore, he sent someone to buy the moving company near Lanta Community just for this scene. Isn't this just in time? Don't worry about these little things. It's getting late. Let's move first. Should we go to the Mingyue community of the Extreme Martial Arts School or the Chunlei community of the Thunder and Lightning Martial Arts School? Wang Zijin directed his men to go. Helping move things, he asked Yang Wu, although he is well informed, the time is too short now, and he can only confirm that Yang Wu has not joined the HR Alliance. As for the Huaxia Kingdom, if Yang Wu joined the Huaxia Kingdom, there would be no need for a moving company. Mingyue community. Seeing that he could no longer stop Wang Zijin, Yang Wu could only acquiesce in this matter. No problem. Wang Zijin pointed to a luxury car behind the big truck and said with a smile, "Oh, take your uncle, aunt and others into the car at the back first, and we can finish the move in no time." In order to help Yang Wu move this time, Wang Zijin brought all the porters from the moving company. Soon, everyone in the Yang Wu family's few furniture was loaded into the big truck. Chapter 19 Extreme House. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. Soon, under the watch of many neighbors in Lanta community, Yang Wu's family left Lanta community in a luxury car and a large truck behind them. Half an hour later, Yang Wu and others successfully arrived at the gate of Mingyue community. Facing the strict guards of Mingyue community, the convoy could no longer continue driving. Yang Wu walked out of the car and took a few steps forward, ready to show his relevant documents. In the duty room at the entrance of Mingyue community, an old man with gray hair also walked out, and said with a smile, "I also said, who moved here so late? It turns out to be Yang Wu, you kid. You are also lucky, and the notice was given you just arrived at my place. If you hadn't arrived, you would probably have to move back." Yang Wu smiled and said, "Uncle Wang, I didn't move here until I knew the notice was coming. Okay, it's getting late. Let's talk when we have time." The gray-haired old man took the ID from Yang Wu's hand. After verifying that it was correct, he said with a smile, "Yang Wu, these people from the moving company can't go in. There are dedicated people responsible for moving things." After saying that, the old man used his pager to call people who would help with the move. "I understand." Yang Wu nodded, smiled at Wang Zijin who came to him, and said, "Brother Wang, look at this." "It's okay." Wang Zijin smiled and said, "It doesn't matter if you can't get in. You guys settle down first. When I have time later, I'll come visit you again." Mingyue community is the base camp of the Extreme Martial Arts School in Yangzhou City. In addition to the martial artists, the people living there are also the family members of the martial artists. It can be said that they are all the elites in Yangzhou City. Of course Wang Zijin hopes to go in and have a look around, maybe he can meet a few people who can help him. But Wang Zijin also knew that going too far was not enough. It was getting late today and the Yang Wu family had to clean up their new home. It was indeed not a good time for him to visit. "Okay." Yang Wu smiled and said to Wang Zijin, "Brother Wang, whenever you have time to see me, just come over. But before you come, give me a call and I will notify the gate of the community." "No problem. Just don't bother me, Wu, when the time comes." Wang Zijin replied. While Yang Wu and Wang Zijin were chatting, 7 or 8 soldiers had already ran out of the community and very quickly moved Yang Wu's family's belongings in the big truck. After the things were moved, Yang Wu said goodbye to Wang Zijin and led his family into Mingyue community under the envious eyes of the moving company employees. Mr. Yang Wu. In front of several soldiers who were responsible for moving things, there was a young woman holding a folder. She pointed to a villa not far ahead, smiled and said to Yang Wu, "The 201 building in front of us this is your home, Mr. Yang Wu. This villa has 3 floors, a basement, and a super large terrace on the 3rd floor. The total area is 512 square meters. If you include the basement, courtyard, terrace, etc., it is nearly 800 square meters. Of course, Mr. Yang Wu, you only have the right to use this villa, but not the right to buy or sell it." "I know." Yang Wu nodded. "Brother Yang." At this time, a familiar voice sounded. Yang Wu looked back and saw Luo Feng walking out of a nearby villa. Luo Feng walked quickly to Yang Wu. After greeting Yang Wu's family, he asked Yang Wu dissatisfiedly, "Brother Yang, why didn't you tell me that you were moving?" Yang Wu smiled and said, I also made a sudden decision, thinking that I would contact you after I get there. That's it. Luo Feng said with a smile, after you settle down, Brother Yang, bring your uncle and aunt to my house for dinner. It will be considered as a blessing for you, Brother Yang. No problem. Yang Wu thought for a while and agreed, although Yang Wu no longer intends to hug Luo Feng's lap. After 3 years, the relationship between him and Luo Feng is no longer based on interests. With the help of Luo Feng and the martial arts gym staff, the Yang Wu family quickly took care of everything in the villa, and then took their family to Luo Feng's house for dinner. That night, both families were very happy because Yang Wu and Luo Feng both successfully passed the actual combat assessment of prospective warriors. By around 10 o'clock in the evening, Yang Wu's family had already rested due to a busy day. However, Yang Wu, whose physical fitness had reached the level of a junior warrior, did not feel any fatigue at all. At this time, he was sitting alone in a quiet room in the villa. After passing the fingerprint verification, Yang Wu successfully entered the internal network of the warriors under the Extreme Martial Arts School, the Extreme House. After entering the Extreme House, the first thing Yang Wu saw, apart from his 50 million balance, were 2 emails that kept flashing. Yang Wu opened an email with a tap of his finger. Hello, Mr. Yang Wu. A middle-aged man in a black suit appeared on the screen in front of Yang Wu. He smiled and said, I am the assistant of Director Zhuge. I believe in you with the 50 million funds promised by Mr. Zhuge. I have seen it. As for the funds for purchasing various cheats, when you purchase through the internal network, as long as the price does not exceed 100 million, it can be directly deducted. As for the part exceeding 100 million, Mr. Yang Wu must pay for it yourself. At the same time, I would also like to inform Mr. Yang Wu on behalf of the supervisor that September is the admission time for the Global Warrior Basic Training Camp. If you plan to go, please contact the supervisor as soon as possible. After the middle-aged man finished speaking, the video ended directly. Basic Training Camp. Yang Wu smiled slightly and clicked on the second email. He does not plan to go to the basic training camp. With the existence of the simulator, his strength will definitely improve rapidly. If he goes, he will also go to the elite training camp. Since you can't enter the elite training camp now, you might as well follow the warrior team to the wilderness area to hunt monsters. The second email was also a video, but the person in the video was changed from the middle-aged man to a sweet-looking girl. Hello, dear new martial artist Yang Wu. I am here, representing the Extreme Martial Arts School, to welcome you to our big family. The girl smiled and said, this is your first time entering the Extreme House. I will introduce to you the purpose of the Extreme House. Here, you can buy various levels of weapons and equipment, various cheats, etc. Everything you need can be found here, as long as you have enough money. After your payment is successful, the goods will be delivered to your designated place within 24 hours. Through the Extreme House, you can even ask warriors at the warrior level or even the god of war to guide you in your training, as long as you have enough money. Of course, if you have enough contribution points, the prices of the above items will be halved. Finally, I wish Mr. Yang Wu that you can reach the pinnacle of martial arts in our big family of Extreme Martial Arts School. After saying that, the girl bowed slightly and the video ended. Chapter 20 Buying Cheats. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. After watching the video, Yang Wu began to browse the various functions of Extreme House. Extreme House has many functions and is divided into many sections. There are functional sections for receiving tasks and publishing tasks, there are sections for chatting and making friends, and there are also functional sections related to cultivation. However, what Yang Wu attaches most importance to is the online mall sector. The online mall contains everything, including all kinds of guidance techniques, movement secrets, marksmanship secrets, hot weapons, cold weapons, genetic potions, etc. Everything is included and there is no wonder. What I need to do most now is to find a secret book that can improve my body's strength. Looking at the dazzling array of products, Yang Wu never forgot his purpose. Fire shooting. Yang Wu entered this name in the cheats category. Fiery Shooting is a cheat book that Yang Wu once purchased in the simulator. It contains techniques for exerting force and marksmanship. Yang Wu has mastered the marksmanship, but has not learned the technique for exerting force. After Yang Wu searched, the entire introduction to the flame shootout immediately appeared on the screen. Fire shooting, category, marksmanship. Rating, a grade. Price, 500 million Chinese coins, full price, 250 million Chinese coins, half price, requirement, 2-star contribution points. Yang Wu looked at the detailed introduction of the secret book and suddenly lost interest in it. Firstly, the level of the secret book is too low and the upper limit is not high. Secondly, the flame shootout only includes marksmanship and force-generating skills. As for the supporting body skills and guidance skills, they are not available, and you need to purchase them yourself. If you want to learn from the best. Yang Wu thought secretly in his heart. Although Yang Wu knew that his talent was not very good, Yang Wu had confidence in the simulator. As long as he bought the cheats, he would be able to practice successfully one day. Having made up his mind, Yang Wu directly entered the attack cheats in the search bar. Suddenly, physical photos of the cheat books, their names, prices, and various introductions to the cheat books appeared on the screen. The first one on the list is a set of marksmanship, the ultimate marksmanship destruction created by the world's strongest man, Hong. Destroy the world, category, marksmanship. Rating, ultimate. Price, 100 billion Huaxia coins, full price, 50 billion Huaxia coins, half price, requirement, 4-star contribution points. 9 layers of thunder sword, category, sword technique. Rating, ultimate. Price, 100 billion Huaxia coins, full price, 50 billion Huaxia coins, half price. Requirement, 4-star contribution points. Phantom Sword Judgment, category, sword techniques. There are a wide variety of cheat books, and the prices are very scary, especially the top ones, each of which can bankrupt a rich man. Luo Feng is learning the Thunder God's 9-fold Thunder Sword. As for me, of course I have to learn Hong's world-destroying spear technique. Yang Wu, who was familiar with the original work, certainly knew that the cheat books could be purchased separately, so he didn't worry about not being able to afford them. With a flick of his finger, Yang Wu opened a detailed introduction to the marksmanship secret book World Destruction. Destroy the world is the world's #1 attack method created by the world's strongest man, Hong. It contains supporting movement techniques and guidance techniques. World Destruction has 6 floors, priced at 100 billion Chinese coins, half price is 50 billion Chinese coins, requirement, 4-star contribution points. The first 5 levels of World Destruction are priced at 40 billion Chinese coins, and the half price is 20 billion Chinese coins, requirement, 4-star contribution points. The first level of World Destruction is priced at 200 million Chinese coins, and the half price is 100 million Chinese coins, requirement, 1-star contribution points. At the bottom of the page, there is an eye-catching red text reminder. World Destruction is the ultimate marksmanship. It is extremely difficult to practice and difficult to get started. Most of the warriors who buy this marksmanship around the world have not even learned the first level. Please be careful when choosing this marksmanship. After looking at the prices, Yang Wu discovered that with his own funds, he could only purchase the first level of the cheat book. However, the first level is enough for now. With the first level, even if you finish practicing in the simulator, you will probably buy the second level instead of practicing other secrets. With a flick of his finger, Yang Wu chose to buy the first level of World Destruction. After passing the fingerprint verification, all the special funds awarded by Yang Wu's Extreme Martial Arts Gym for purchasing cheat books were cleared, and the first level of cheat books was successfully purchased. Drop. Debit success. The first secret book of World Destruction will be delivered to your home, Mr. Yang Wu, within 24 hours. Prompts appeared on the screen one after another. Next, Yang Wu browsed some necessary equipment for going to the wilderness area. Weapons, combat uniforms and more. However, Yang Wu's privilege of ignoring contribution points has been used to purchase cheats, but now he does not have this discount when purchasing weapons and equipment. Please ask others to help buy it tomorrow. Yang Wu thought secretly in his heart, in addition to cheats, some weapons and equipment, as well as special medicines such as genetic medicines, you can ask people with high contributions to help purchase them. The next morning, just after breakfast, Yang Wu's sister and brother-in-law were planning to leave. Sister. Yang Wu stopped them, "Why don't you and your brother-in-law move here?" Sister Yang Yun and brother-in-law Lu Hongfei met when they were in college. Although Lu Hongfei now has a good job, it is impossible to live in a single-family villa, let alone a single-family villa specially built for warriors. Yang Yun and Yang Wu have a very good relationship. Every time they go home, they always bring some expensive monster meat or something else to Yang Wu. Hearing Yang Wu's words, Yang Yun was a little moved. She naturally knew that her brother was not being polite, so she turned to look at Lu Hongfei beside her. Of course, Lu Hongfei was reluctant. Although living in a single-family villa was indeed very comfortable, this was not his home after all. He could only live there for a few days occasionally, but if he lived there for a long time, Lu Hongfei would definitely not be willing to do so. Yang Yun and Lu Hongfei were connected. Seeing the expression on his face, they immediately understood what he was thinking. "Second brother, we live very well at home, why do we move here? Besides, your brother-in-law and I don't work here, so it's really not convenient. Isn't it okay to just quit your job?" "Sister, what kind of jobs do you and your brother-in-law like? I can find one for you near Minghua community." Yang Wu vowed that he now has the strength of a warrior level, and it is not easy to find a good job for Yang Yun and Yang Yun. "No need to bother." Yang Yun shook her head and refused. "Your brother-in-law and I really like our current jobs." Seeing that Yang Yun insisted on leaving, Yang Wu didn't know what to say. He could only smile and said, "Okay. But, sister, you and your brother-in-law should come over often to visit your parents." Next, Yang Wu will often go to the wilderness area, and his younger brother Yang Fan still has to go to school. Yang Wu is worried that his parents will be a little lonely. "Of course." Yang Yun smiled.